Reasons of employee attrition by options and ideas. What is employee attrition? Employee attrition, or the company's attrition rate, is the number of team members that leave the organization over any given period. Employers lose out on a considerable amount of time and effort due to high employee attrition rates, and it is thus pertinent for them to have an attrition control plan in place. Employee attrition can mainly be classified as either voluntary or involuntary. For efficient attrition control, employers need to take a hard look at company policies and solicit employee feedback on a regular basis. Further, to calculate the employee attrition rate, employers can use the following formula: No of employees resigned, No of employees at the start of the month plus No of employees joined, No of employees resigned, x 100. This can help you arrive at an accurate attrition rate and gather data for comparative analysis. There are 4 types of employee attrition. Voluntary attrition. Voluntary attrition occurs when someone departs a company for personal or professional reasons, such as retirement, a cross-country move, health issues, or to accept a new job elsewhere. At any rate, when voluntary attrition is high, it's well worth it for companies to conduct exit interviews with departing employees. Doing so can provide helpful insights into why people are leaving, and with that information, an organization can develop a plan of action to improve employee retention. Demographic-specific attrition. One especially concerning HR problem is demographic-specific attrition. Demographic-specific attrition occurs when people from a certain demographic, such as women, older employees, ethnic minorities, veterans, leave an organization at a significantly higher rate than other employees. To resolve demographic-specific attrition, companies need to find out what's causing it by deploying employee surveys and conducting exit interviews. However, once they've uncovered the reasons behind demographic-specific attrition, they're only part way to resolving the problem. Internal attrition. Internal attrition means that employees are quitting jobs in one department to work in another one. Typically, internal attrition isn't a cause for concern, since people are staying at the company, which indicates that they are generally happy. Also, internal attrition isn't necessarily a bad thing, since experienced employees are still using their knowledge, skills, and abilities for the benefit of the organization. Furthermore, by switching departments, employees may find their new positions are a better fit, which can improve engagement, work output, and quality. Involuntary attrition. With involuntary attrition, companies are responsible for letting workers go. Employees don't leave voluntarily. There are many different reasons companies might do this. For instance, sometimes companies decide to eliminate a position for structural reasons. Other times, involuntary attrition is due to mergers, acquisitions, poor performance, or employee misconduct. The most common reason for involuntary attrition is because a position's been eliminated. In such cases, involuntary attrition is planned in advance. What causes employee attrition? Low unemployment. When the unemployment rate is low, it's more difficult for businesses to attract and hire talented candidates. As a result, companies may stop trying to fill open positions and instead eliminate them altogether. Toxic work environment. Toxic workplaces are typically rife with gossip, aggression, and pettiness. Company relocations. Companies will often relocate to resolve supplier issues, take advantage of tax breaks, or to consolidate offices. When a company relocates, workers may decide to remain behind, even if their relocation expenses are covered. Mergers and acquisitions. When two companies join forces, some positions become redundant, since there isn't a need for 2 marketing managers, database administrators, or graphic designers. As a result, companies often lay off employees after a merger or acquisition, without filling their positions. Poor job fit. Sometimes a person just isn't a good fit for the job they've been hired to fill. For instance, maybe the role doesn't match their strengths, perhaps they lack the temperament for the job, or the responsibilities are such that nobody could be successful in the role, which often occurs with newly created positions. Regardless of the reason, poor job fit can cause employees to feel bored, underutilized, and frustrated. Lack of growth opportunities. A lack of growth opportunities is another factor that can affect employee attrition. If there's no room at the top to grow, or there's no clear path for moving up the corporate ladder, employees are more likely to seek greener pastures elsewhere. What are the risks of employee attrition? Inexperienced staff. When workers leave a company and aren't replaced, the employees who remain are forced to pick up the slack and take on additional work duties. Because these employees are less experienced, they're more likely to make mistakes and fulfill these responsibilities slower than someone with more experience might. Employee burnout. Employees may feel overworked if they're forced to assume additional responsibilities, making them prone to burnout, which is associated with disengagement, increased absenteeism, and lower productivity. Employee turnover. Employees who are forced to take on more work may be more inclined to leave themselves. This can cost companies a significant amount of money, as now they're forced to recruit, hire, and train new employees to replace those who are leaving. Unhappy customers. Inexperienced staff, employee burnout, and high turnover don't just affect the internal workings of a company. They can also affect customer satisfaction. As a result, customers may be inclined to take their business elsewhere. Lower productivity. When a company has a high employee attrition rate, there are less workers to get things done. As a result, productivity declines, which can ultimately affect a company's long-term performance and goals. How to reduce the attrition rate of employees? 1. Set clear expectations. One of the biggest reasons that can cause employees to leave is if they're hired for a role that doesn't match their skill set. You can tackle this by having a clear job description in place right at the time of hiring. Further, goals or expectations set at the very beginning can also help avoid such scenarios. 2. Offer competitive salaries. Another massive reason for employees feeling dejected at the workplace is salaries that are not on par with market standards. This is especially true with the millennial workforce, who are on the lookout for the best competitive edge when it comes to picking jobs. To handle this, employers can run a survey and compare their pay scales with those of their competitors. 3. Extend professional development opportunities. Employees look for both personal and professional growth opportunities at work. Not offering enough avenues for career enhancement can cause them to quit. To avoid this, employers can extend higher learning and sponsored education options to employees. Further, they can offer their best team members growth via promotions in their current roles. 4. Conduct employee surveys. The causes for employee turnover are not the same across organizations. To understand what is causing your staff to leave, it is essential to delve deeper into their psyche. How can you do this? One way is conducting exit interviews or employee surveys. Asking employees to anonymously list their pain points can help you analyze and eventually overcome them. 5. Include benefits and perks beyond the CTC. Gone are the days when employees were happy with a good CTC. They are now looking for fringe benefits in addition to their monthly paychecks while evaluating whether a job is lucrative enough or not. 6. Create an inclusive and positive workspace. To control employee attrition, companies can also look at revamping policies around diversity and inclusion. Organizations must adopt an open hierarchy and emphasize inclusive practices when hiring. Further, training the management to lead with empathy and have a human approach at work can also help employees feel supported and satisfied. Thank you.